Panama Papers helps recover more than $1.6 billion around the world.
Here's a summary of the article.
First-time gains in Panama, France and Iceland have pushed above $1.6 billion the global tally of fines and back taxes resulting from the Panama Papers investigation's exposure of the offshore finance industry. Since June 2018, the United Kingdom alone has added $159 million to bring its total to more than $336 million. Australia has collected another $57 million to eclipse $123 million, and Belgium has added an extra $8.7 million to its government coffers to surpass $24 million. In Iceland, the Directorate of Tax Investigations has finished 24 investigations relating to the Panama Papers and estimates it has recouped $34 million. In Panama, authorities have clawed back more than $18.7 million in the past 3 years. The $1 billion plus Panama Papers tally almost understates total revenue raised as a result of the Panama Papers leak, given that many countries do not disclose information on tax settlements. University of Leeds professor of tax law Rita de la Feria says the Panama Papers has changed public sentiment towards taxation itself, and a failure to pay a fair share of tax is no longer considered a victimless crime. De la Feria said, before the Panama Papers there was a public tolerance, a kind of good-for-you attitude towards anyone who could avoid paying their fair share of tax.
This post received a score of 17,448, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
That's the equivalent of stealing millions of dollars and getting 2 weeks of community service.
Gotta love white-collar crime.
But there's no victim. Except everyone.
Also, that journalist that got fucking murdered, I guess we could include Daphne Caruana Galizia among everyone, but everyone else didn't get murdered by a car bomb.
A drop in the proverbial tax avoidance bucket. Edit, spelling.
1.6 trillion was the number I told myself it was supposed to read. Nope.
16 trillion.
Read an article years before the papers came out that estimated more than 23 trillion.
I think it was a Guardian article one read that mentioned 16 trillion. Can't remember if it was in pound s or dollar s or even what year it was. I think you're on the right track though.
Only 1.6 b? Is this a typo?
Most nations don't make public how much they have recovered to make it harder for evaders to know exactly what and how they are being caught. But, we do know that individuals in Australia, the UK, Belgium, and the US were popped for much more than $1.6 billion. The $1.6 billion is just what France and Iceland say they reclaimed recently.
This link just seems like an ad for the Toronto Star.
Trust me, they need it.
Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was disqualified from his post after the Panama leaks. Basically, he could prove the money trail leading up to his properties overseas. Edit, couldn't.
Could not.
And we still don't know who is the brave soul who leaked it for neither profit nor recognition.
The brave soul who leaked it was assassinated by car bomb. They're dead, dude.
You are talking about Daphne Caruana Galizia. Yes, she was a Maltese journalist who did a lot of investigation into government corruption, and yes, she also investigated into the link between government officials and the Panama Papers, but she was not the person only known as John Doe who originally leaked the papers to journalists of the Süddeutsche Zeitung. Instead, she was one of the many journalists around the world who took up the task to investigate further into them after they had been leaked.
That is it?
Also got the former Prime Minister of Pakistan thrown out of office, placed under arrest, and found guilty of corruption.
And nothing happened. Those fucks belong in jail.
Didn't the journalist who released these papers die in a car bomb? Or was that the Paradise Papers?
Is that it? Bezos' breakfast costs that much.
1.6 billion of 100 trillion.
The jump up to $1 million is tough to wrap your head around, but I think with the right metaphors and mental gymnastics the true size of $1 million can be grasped. Going from $1 million to $1 billion is absolutely out of reach to truly understand. Billions to trillions? B's and T's is getting into units that bleed into astrological quantification systems. And some people hold that in their bank accounts, well, billions, and not literally in a bank account but still. I cannot fathom that kind of purchasing power and influence. Just fucking what?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.